Hello, I'm Daniel. I'm going to read a verse from Trust in Mind today, and then I'm going to comment on that. So, after that, I'm going to lead a meditation. So, here's the verse. The more you talk and think about it, the further astray you wander from the truth. The more you talk and think about it, the further astray you wander from the truth. So, what is that? So, talking and thinking about it, that's not to say we shouldn't think and talk about things, of course, but there's a movement in some spiritual groups to sort of spend all the time putting things in categories and really thinking about, oh, this is this kind of teaching, this is that kind of teaching. I'm interested in this teacher of this type and no other ones. And maybe that's a little confusing, but the point is that we want to have a passive attitude and engage our meditation practice and not sit there and think, oh, I'm attaining this level now. Oh, I'm attaining that level now. We want to not do that because that isn't helpful. That's sort of a distraction. And some people do like to do that and talk about like what path they're attaining or what stream they're entering or whatever. And what we want to do is just do it. Just do the meditation practice rather than thinking and talking about these specific details, because those can get in the way and be a distraction sometimes. We want to just do the practice and see what happens. We want to also it's very important to have a passive attitude, and that is what we don't want to do is have that mind that says, oh, this is a terrible meditation, I'm failing. We want to not have that, or I'm too stupid, I'm bad at this, or whatever. We want to not have that, but instead just come to the meditation and be engaged with it and just do it and not be thinking too hard about results. So that is what we want to do here. That's what a passive attitude is about. It's about not beating ourselves up when we think our meditation's not going well, because even if you're distracted and you feel like you're getting nowhere and your meditation's unpleasant the whole time, it's still doing something. It's still training your mind. It's training your mind even when it feels like it's not. So, that is what we're talking about here. That is what we're talking about here. And if we just try to measure our meditations and say, oh, well, this one was a 10, this one was a 5, like, that doesn't do anything. We sort of have to trust the process and do the meditation practice and see what happens rather than obsessing over the details of how often we feel like we have a really good meditation and how often we don't. And definitely not compare notes with other people, because it's a very different experience for everyone. So we also don't want to be in a meditation group and look around and see like how still other people are and how still we feel like we're not, because you're always going to feel like you're less still than anyone else. So let's go ahead and do a meditation for a little bit. Sit up as straight as you can. And find a position where you're stable and your legs aren't going to fall asleep. And with your hands, I recommend 2 different forms. One I call the bowl. It's one hand on top of the other, thumbs gently touching. And the other form I recommend is called relaxation, and that's just hands on your knees. And I recommended eyes open practice, so what I'm looking at is the wall right up here, and if you have something not distracting you can look at, I think that's best. I don't know about you, but I'm in sort of a loud place today. I hear things happening, and because of that, I'm going to do a listening meditation. That is where we just listen to hear what we can hear. We just make ourselves very quiet and we just hear whatever's happening. Just hear it, listen to it, identify it. Don't react to it. Try not to think about it. So if you hear something you can't identify, just try to identify it, but don't make it a point of distraction. So I hear at least one of my kids making noise, and I just hear it, oh, a kid making noise. But what I'm not going to do is chase that thought and go down to, why is my kid making noise right now, right? So that's what we want to figure out how to do, is just bring our minds to a place where we are just listening, just hearing, and just identify the sounds you're hearing and try not to get pulled out of this moment by them. So every time something does pull you out of this moment, just remind yourself, be silent and listen. So I'm going to ring this bell 3 times, and then we're just going to do a listening practice, and then I'll mind the time, and I will ring it at the end. So just bring attention to every sound you hear. See if you can separate one sound from another when there are several, because often there are several sounds happening, right? See if you can separate one from another. See if you can hear how close or how far away things are. See if you can hear echoes. All these things are happening, but they don't usually get much of our attention. So just be still and be silent and just listen to what you can hear. So that was a listening meditation. And I hope what you realized is there are lots of things you can hear that you're maybe not really totally aware of, and that's going on all the time. So it's a different kind of training in attention from other forms of meditation. So that is it for today. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me and to sit with me. Have a good day.